Conversate for a few.
Welcome to the next episode of Conversate for a Few. I'm Jonna.
I'm Alan. This is not a podcast about classical music.
Absolutely is not. This is a podcast about hip hop. What we doing today, bro?
Discussing the lineage of Q-Tip.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Which is really a much needed talk.
Yeah, I think bro deserved to get his. Well, I know he deserved to get his flowers. And over the years, I think a lot of people. Well, maybe everybody knew it, but me. But I think over the years, a lot of people have come to know how integral he was into. You know what I mean? Like a tribe called Quest and Native Tongue and all the movements that came after them.
Right.
So I'm gonna start with this. Maybe I was bugging, but my whole life until how I missed it, I don't know. But until the documentary of Beats, Rhymes, and Life came out, I thought Ali Shaheed Muhammad was the producer for a Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah, I know. I've heard you say that so many times, and it's funny because I couldn't believe that you didn't know that. Like I was so thrown off by that.
How would you know?
Okay. The funny thing is, I can't really say what I thought during the time when those albums were coming out.
That's my point right
there. But I always just associated Q-Tip with being a producer because I knew everything else Q-Tip had done. You know what I mean?
Well, see, that's hindsight because he didn't really hit his stride as a producer for other people until kind of after Tribe, in my opinion.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so it was hindsight.
So it didn't make.
I can't even remember what my thought was.
That's kind of my point. You see what I'm saying? So I think people.
But I thought he was I did think Ali Shaheed was just a DJ.
See, I didn't.
I never thought he was a producer.
Maybe this is an age thing, right? Because I'm from the era where the producer is the DJ. I mean, the DJ is the producer.
I understand exactly where
you understand what I'm saying? Like, that's...
Yeah.
If you got DJ Premier and Guru, you got Pete Rock, CL Smooth, you got, you know what I mean? Like,
they're all DJs and producers. I got you.
This is what you do.
Right.
This is how it works. You know what I mean? So,
right.
And you got to add to that Tip always requested that the song say produced by a Tribe Called Quest. You know what I mean? Like, it never said produced by Q-Tip for a Tribe Called Quest. That didn't start happening until like One Love and you know what I mean? Like the what's that? Oh man, the remix.
Who's that? On my
World Is Yours remix.
Oh, okay, yeah.
See what I'm saying? That kind of stuff. The hot sex on the platter, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? When you started realizing, okay, Tip is out here doing his thing. And then the infamous album where it said produced by Q-Tip. These things. You see what I'm saying? But this is those things don't necessarily correlate. They didn't correlate to a Tribe Called Quest for me.
Yeah. That's true.
You know what I mean? Which is kind of
so I can see that. I definitely can understand. You know why you thought Ali Shaheed was the producer.
Yeah.
In the back then, I definitely get it.
Back then, so it took me a minute, but it makes sense now. It makes total sense. You see what I'm saying? It makes total sense. I don't know how other people find out because I feel like somebody like Pharrell obviously knew.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And if he didn't know, he speaks about it as if he knows.
Right.
I wonder how many people front. I wonder how many people would have said if you'd have asked them
back then.
If you'd have asked, they might would have said a Tribe Called Quest as like their production, but I don't know if they would have said Q-Tip as a producer is the one.
Right. I wouldn't have. I probably would have said Tribe Called Quest.
You know what I mean? Like I just don't, so I think that's part of the reason that he don't get all the flowers he should. Because now everybody knows it. Like we all know he's a legendary producer. We all know he was a producer for a Tribe Called Quest. We all know, he's a genius. We all know that, his family tree is extensive, and maybe people don't know, but they about to find out today. But it's that part of it amazes me, is that I didn't get that in real time. Because if I'd have been getting it in real time, I don't know that he wouldn't have been my favorite producer. I don't know that he would have been. He might have been my favorite over Pete Rock. He might have been my favorite over Premier at that time. If I'd have known that he was the one manning the boards.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. For sure, because he's definitely my favorite over them now.
I mean, when you think about it in that context, it's kind of easy.
Man, to be honest, it ain't even like.
It's not close.
No conversation. It's not even close, bro.
It's not even close. What that boy was doing was nuts. And not even close, because he was going crazy.
He was smoking niggas.
You talk about from People's Instinctive Travels all the way up to Beats, Rounds of Life or Midnight Marauder. Which one was last? Beats, Rounds of Life was last.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not counting Love Movement.
Yeah, I knew you wasn't.
You know what?
Because I was gonna say Love, but I knew you won't count that.
Yeah, I'm not counting that one. But because I feel like those albums before Love Movement are the meat of
Tribe,
at least Q-Tip's Tribe production.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sure.
And that's enough for a legacy right there. And then you double all the way back, and he jumps back out the window on We Got It From Here.
Oh my god!
Like, that dude is something special, bro.
He's amazing, man.
Yeah, he's the one. He's like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like in so many ways, because he was so humble with it. He wasn't out here just like, yo, I'm that dude on the boards. I'm that. You would not know.
Yeah.
You know.
But you know what's funny? How you said like Pharrell. You know Pharrell knows, right? Or at least speaks like he did. This is the thing. What is known, like amongst producers, he is the one.
Oh yeah, for
I'm
sure.
thinking about like whatever great producers we throw out there. We've seen from No ID to Kanye to that, that famous YouTube clip where he's looping the sample in real time with the record player. Like they all salute Q-Tip. Like if you don't know that Q-Tip is like basically the illest, it's like where you been?
Yeah, what are you doing?
And that's what I love, that all the greats, like, you know what I mean? Like who else? I think Jay invented the saying, like, I'm your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
Yeah.
Like he's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People's favorite producers, he's their favorite.
He's their favorite for sure. All right, so I got it in 3 different categories. We're gonna do like the lineage of Q-Tip in 3 different categories.
Okay.
Producer is one category. MC is another category, and then overall style.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Style and impact, I think, are similar, especially in this conversation. I would say, right?
I think so.
So we're gonna start with producers. I'm gonna ask you a question. Who would you say was influenced most by Q-Tip?
Ooh.
Like that you can hear. Like if you can hear their sound, then you can hear it.
Two people come to mind.
Okay.
Kanye and Juju from Beat Nuts.
Wow. Damn. Wow. Juju. That's unsung than a motherfucker. Juju was bad to the he was a bad boy back in the day, yo. Juju was nice. Yeah, Juju was nice. I like those answers. I was probably gonna say go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I'll explain why, but go ahead.
But please explain why. I want to hear the reasons first.
Okay, both of them, both Kanye and Juju, for the same reasons. More so, even Kanye though.
Okay.
Like when you listen to things like, "Give Up the Goods," Up North Trip, Drink Away the Pain, stuff that he produced on Mob, right?
Yeah.
One Love, these melodic type of samples, these like ill melodic samples. Kanye has done the same thing. When you look at if you look at the way Kanye, to me, picks samples, like this is what, even though No ID was Kanye's mentor, like if you look at the samples they pick, Kanye samples leans to me more toward like some, no pun intended, but like abstract melodic type stuff. Some of the stuff he picked and sounds.
I hear that. I can hear that.
And then Juju definitely, for when you listen, particularly the Beatnuts album Stone Crazy, like the single for that album was Do You Believe? Do you believe in God? If you do, tell him to save you. I remember the video, but you listen to that, that's a Q-Tip beat. You listen to Do You Believe? Pull up the video on YouTube. The beat, it was a single for the album. That beat sounds very much like One Love to a degree.
I can feel that. So I think I was gonna say Dilla and Ye.
Okay, that's funny. At least we both was gonna say Ye.
Yeah, we both got Ye.
And the other thing, I feel like a lot of people got their swing, their bounce in their drums, particularly Ye, from Q-Tip. Because when I listen to something like when Dilla did Electric Relaxation.
Say what?
No, didn't he? He did that for Tribe, or did Q-Tip do Electric Relaxation? I think Jay Dilla did.
Okay, hold on. Keep talking, because I gotta look that up.
But like Hot Sex on the Platter, Vibrant Thing, like there's other beats that Q-Tip did that has like a bounce. Like this is the other difference. It's funny how as I'm talking about it, I keep having to compare and contrast No ID and Kanye. No ID drums don't have much of a swing and bounce to it, like to make you dance, basically. Like his drums are always different.
Nah,
they have a bounce.
Electric Relaxation was produced by a Tribe Called Quest.
Okay, so Q-Tip.
For anybody watching this, forgive me. I know it's gonna be. Ain't no way in the hell Dilla did Electric Relaxation, bro.
I know, but
fuck out of here.
I don't know where that came from.
Yeah. Excuse me, but nah.
Yeah.
Hell
but see, like that though, Electric Relaxation. But do you see those type doom, like the way, like his beats just make you do like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying No ID beats don't, but they're very good beats. But like the drums that Q-Tip used, he's gonna make you bounce, and Kanye drums do the same thing.
I can see that.
I feel like their swing, the way they like their drums to go along with these samples, it's more of a bop to it.
Okay, I could definitely see that. Now, in my opinion, like Kanye, I agree totally with that, right?
Okay.
Dilla to me is closer to what you were saying about Juju and Kanye. It's the samples he chooses. Like
for sure. I understand
the bag that he get into for the samples he chooses and the way he chooses to use them. It felt to me and feels to me heavily inspired by Tribe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I mean, hell, I've heard Q-Tip say he's doing my shit. He's just doing it better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Q-Tip was like, yo, Dilla, I heard this little nigga doing me. He's doing my shit. He's just doing it. It's better.
Right.
I don't know about that better part. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's ridiculous, but I understand him saying that.
But I understand
he's super humble.
He's super humble, and he really did rock with it. So I get it. That's like me saying when I heard Jeru's, like somebody was using the K2 way better than I could have ever imagined using it. Can't nobody tell me that ain't true.
Right.
Some people might be like, bro, you tripping. I'm like, yo, they ain't nobody can tell me that ain't true. I know it's true. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So it's just one of so I get where he coming from. You feel me? But
But and mind you, I want to put this out here too, along with Juju. Now his drums and stuff don't sound like it, but a lot of his samples, I know he was heavily influenced. But he's also, and if you remember when he was on Drink Champs, he told the story of how he got pulled into Native Tongues by the Jungle Brothers.
I ain't seen it yet.
Yeah, so it's an old one, but he was part of Native Tongues too.
The one with Beatnuts is an old Drink Champs.
Yeah, so the Beatnuts have an old Drink Champs.
Oh, they've been on there twice then, because they was just on there, I think.
Oh no, I didn't know they was just on there.
Yeah, I think they got a recent one, unless that was an old clip that was floating around. But I think they got a recent one.
Oh yeah. So it's not the recent one; it's the old one.
Okay.
Yep, that's when I first learned that Juju was in Native Tongues.
I didn't know that until today years old.
Yeah, yeah, he was talking about, and I forgot who from Jungle Brothers, but he met him in the record store and blah blah blah, and he pulled him. They got pulled in.
That's fire. That's fire. All right. So we got who we think was most inspired.
Yeah.
But we just run down the list. So we know Dilla.
Dilla.
You made me realize Juju. Ye. The next person on my list is obviously Pharrell. Pharrell is the biggest Q-tip. He's a Q-tip junkie. I can see it. Yeah, I can see it. But he just took it somewhere completely else.
He did.
You know what I mean? But he's definitely a Q-tip junkie. What I would like to know would Madlib put himself on this list?
I think he would.
You know what I mean?
I definitely think he would.
I think he would also. It's just
I would.
But
yeah.
But I will say this: Muggs and the Soul Council have a legacy that's extensive, also that runs to like the Alchemist, and they cross paths like Q-tips and with Alchemist on the. You know what I mean? On the Mobb Deep joints, and then Q-tip on the Mobb Deep joints. So those,
right.
But Muggs' legacy is deep too, and I don't know if Madlib is under his or under. I don't know. I know what I hear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I would like to know what he would have to say. But for the sake of this conversation, I'm definitely gonna put him under Q-tip.
Yeah. Person. Q-tip.
Yeah, for sure. I got a surprise person though. And I will say this person is, well, I'm gonna put it to you. I'm gonna write this down too. Which is crazy. Right. This person, well, they rap, so I guess they do count. John Bellion, bro. You ever listen to any John Bellion?
I have.
Yo. He's inspired by Q-tip by way of Dilla. You know what I mean? Because there's tons of Dilla bounce and swing in John Bellion's music. You know what I mean? Like that whole, you know, just the way it feels. That. So if Dilla is in the lineage of Tip, then John Bellion got to be in the lineage of Tip also.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense, yeah.
And that bop, that kind of awkward bop, is very, very prevalent in the G Unit sound also.
Oh, that is funny.
You know what I mean? Like that, the twitchy, kind of off kilter, that whole bop, that whole thing is very prevalent in G Unit music. So you gonna find kernels of Q-tip everywhere.
Yeah.
Throughout the industry, you know what I mean? Because when I heard like. And we know that Dilla is a descendant.
Yeah, that's clear.
If that's clear, so if Dilla's a clear descendant of Tip, anybody that's a descendant of Dilla is a descendant of Tip.
By default.
So all the way down to a pop star like John Bellion, you got Q-tip running through his veins. It's nuts, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's actually beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's actually beautiful when you think about, you know, how far. I mean, hell, we could put Cole on this list of producers that was inspired by Tip. Just, it's, hell, Havoc. Havoc is a direct descendant.
He is literally a direct descendant, and he learned a lot from Q-tip. Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean,
let's check it.
Yeah.
If he was never around Q-tip, right, he would have never gave us that Shook Ones Part 2. He would have never thought to put those samples together that's really from two different records.
From my understanding, this Q-tip is the one that told him to go make beats.
Yeah.
It was like, yo, you could do this yourself. And then he went and got advice from Tip, and Tip kind of helped him, you know what I'm saying, polish everything up.
Yeah.
You
know what's funny? And what's funny is, and I will mention him because I don't want to take no credit from anyone.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Tragedy Gaddafi also helped him with beats.
Yeah.
So he had two good mentors.
Oh, he did.
You know what I mean? And it's funny, I can see both of the influences in him. More so Tip with his samples and drums, I can see Tragedy Gaddafi because some of the beats he did on CNN album, like is like that. Although Havoc himself did like 5-6 records on CNN album, but I'm just saying that I didn't want to cut Tragedy Gaddafi out. You know what I mean? Because that's part of the history,
right?
And he actually gave Havoc his name also.
That's wild.
So yeah, he named Havoc.
Yeah, gave Havoc his name and gave him some alley-oops on the boards.
Yeah,
I can hear that. I can see that. I mean, people get it from a lot of different places though, because that's like I always say, Ricardo is the one that taught me to make beats, right?
Yeah.
But there was also Trav Jones. There was also, you know what I'm saying, DeMarco. There was also, you know what I mean, other people had a hand in me getting where I was going. But the most influential one was Ricardo. Yeah, you know, at that point. So I can see how it would be, you know what I mean, primarily be Q-Tip, but you know, you got to add the grit and the dangerous, you know what I mean, to the music. You got influence from Tragedy over here. Ain't that crazy? Like, think about hip hop. I got 2 mentors. One is named Tragedy. The other one's named Q-Tip.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and Q-Tip ain't no sucker. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I know means do I think he's a sucker, but you know what I mean? Like, one's name's Tragedy Gaddafi.
Right.
And the other one's named Q-Tip, the Abstract Poetic.
Right.
You know, it's like, what?
That's so wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, we need to get back to that, where hip hop is swinging so broad, so far. You know what I mean? Like, that shit was fun. Is there anybody else like that jumps out to you for the list? Like on the production side of things?
Yeah. Though, like everyone we named, I can't think of anyone outside of the names we already named. And the one I would have not thought about, you already brought in Madlib.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. For the sake of that, we named what? Dilla, Kanye, Pharrell, John Billion, Madlib, and Juju, right?
Yeah.
And there's obviously gonna be people that come from the Pharrell tree. There's gonna be people that come from the Kanye tree. There's gonna be people that come from, you see what I'm saying? So like we could spend probably hours breaking down who came after these guys from this way.
Right.
You know, which is what makes it a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we can go to the MCs though, because this is
wow. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna start like I did. Well, I'm gonna start with this is something we both know, and I think it's something that once I say it, it's obvious. But when you take the lines from back in the day, who's the best MC, Biggie, Jay-Z, or Nas, and you take that line and you drop it in today, that line is gonna say who's the best MC, Kendrick, Drake, or Cole.
Drake or Cole, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it's gonna say. 2 out of the 3 biggest rappers in the world today are direct descendants of Q-Tip. Cole and Kendrick.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I know which two.
Yeah, it's obvious which two. And if you really want to be truthful about it, there's 4 hot MCs, like megastar MCs of the day, that are black. We're not counting Post Malone.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you got Drake, Cole, Kanye, and Kendrick. That would make 4. I mean, 3 out of the 4 direct descendants of Q-Tip. The biggest artist in the game today. Right.
Now watch this. And you probably already know this, but for those that, you know what I mean, for the Tang Clan and those that don't know, this is an aside that I just want to add.
Yes.
Because he's responsible for those 4. There's another one that he's responsible for based on his ear to identify music and started. And he told this story on another podcast. I don't know if you wanted to mention the other podcast. But
it's the one with counting in the name. It's like about,
no.
Not that person. Okay.
No. So we can say,
Yeah.
my expert opinion,
That's
Math
what I was talking
Hoffman.
about, counting math.
Oh,
I
Math.
tried
I
to be
always thought you was
slick.
talking about. It's funny. I thought you was talking about $1 billion.
It was another game. Either way, okay.
But yeah. So, but he was explaining how he met this young lady. He had heard
Yeah.
her rap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All of that. Of course, it turned out to be Meg the Stallion.
Yep.
He was trying to get people to sign her. He took her to a few labels, and they basically was trying to give her like some crazy deal or no deal at all.
Right.
And now she blew up, right?
Yep.
Of course, be a big star.
Yep. And it's funny because I would love to know what she would sound like if he had got her where she was trying to go. You know what I mean? I wonder, not to say her music don't have integrity. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I know. I understand what you're saying.
But somebody told her to put on a whole lot more makeup and drop her tail to the floor and rap about sex. I guarantee you.
She wasn't doing it like that.
Yeah, that's my point. I guarantee you he wasn't trying to take her into the labels. That's why they didn't sign her though.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
They couldn't push her as overly sexualized artist.
Right.
They didn't want to touch it.
Yeah, if they can't smut her out, they don't want her. That's nuts too. This is bad.
Yeah.
That's bad business. And you don't trust a person like Q-Tip.
Right. But see, that goes back to
our last show.
Artists and the labels, our prior show.
Yeah.
They don't know. Like they don't know real artistry.
No clue. All right, so we got the big 3 plus 1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And out of the big 3 plus 1, of course, it's gonna be Cole, Kendrick, Kanye.
Yeah.
That are descendants of but in my opinion, if you keep going down the list, the next biggest star is Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not a descendant of Q-Tip, who the hell is?
Right. And he absolutely is. It's probably more prevalent in him than the others.
Yeah.
Because of his eccentricism.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yo, let me say this. Q-Tip paved the way for that, to be unorthodox and very eccentric and still hip hop.
Hey, that's why I got 3 categories.
Right.
That's why I got 3 categories, bro.
Right.
Cause the man's style. Once it became okay for you to be hobo chic in hip hop, it ain't never really left, bro.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was him and Native Tongues that made it cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So yeah, I totally agree.
And I want to say, and I think you'll agree with it, but I think he had influence on Nas.
Yeah.
I'm talking about as an MC.
Yeah.
I think the reason why Nas was that set him apart from Rakim, even though we put him in the vein with Rakim and all of that, what set him apart is Nas was more poetic.
Yeah.
And he was willing to go talk about stuff in a different way, like a Q-Tip.
That's true. Well, in that regard, man, I like the way you put that, because there was a level of poetry to Nas's music, right? And we all picked that level of poetry up going forward. But he had to get it from somewhere.
Right.
And I do believe it's very likely he got that from Tip, because that's when you put it that way. Like Melly Mel's the message is poetry to me.
Right, absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you get to the way Q-Tip was doing things, there's a different level of poetry. It's poetry beside the elegance of jazz.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Over the roughness of hip hop drums.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of, and then so it gave the poetry a pedestal to sit on that it didn't have before. This nigga was creating the pedestal too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga was creating the pedestal also.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And just to be, and just to be like totally honest about it, Q-Tip being from Queens, He just influenced queens.
Queens.
Period. Now it's funny when you look at the people we've talked about. He's influenced Havoc, Queens.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, Nas, but we even down to Cole. When Cole moved to New York, he moved to Queens.
Yeah.
Like all the people, all this juju from the Beatnuts is on our list.
Yeah.
Queens.
Yeah.
Like,
oh wow, that's nuts. That's crazy. John Bellion better be from Long Island. He better not be from Queens. I think he's from Long Island.
It'd be funny to find out he's from Queens.
Right? Oh, he can't be. I'm about to find out for sure. But yeah, Long Island.
Okay, that's funny.
Long Island. Yeah, man. I feel like this is where I want to speak on native tongues a little bit. I think native tongue inspired things like Wu-Tang, inspired things like Wolfgang, inspired things like, you know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
you know, every large crew after that, it inspired things like hieroglyphics.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? I mean,
hieroglyphics is an absolute, like a direct reflection of native tongues.
It's a
way it's put together of groups and
paying
artists.
homage. You go from the word is native tongues. What in the fuck is hieroglyphics?
Right. The native tongue of Egyptians.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so it's like they didn't bite it. Don't get me wrong. I don't look at it that way, but it was
not at
it
all.
was an affinity, and they paid that homage. Mm-hmm. You know, that's how I see that. But in the day, MCs like Earl Sweatshirt, that you know what I'm saying, that brand of MC, I feel like is a part of the legacy of Q-Tip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know how it wouldn't be. It's funny, dude. Would you put Common in there?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I would put Common and the Roots in there.
Common and the Roots.
Yeah. I definitely would.
Yep. And it's funny because I thought Common was going to come up early in our conversation.
Yeah, I was contemplating it, but it's like they feel like they were out at the same time. But But A Tribe Called Quest was here long before.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, A Tribe Called Quest was here when I was pretty young, bro. Like, I might have been 8th grade. 9th grade. Yeah. And I'm 46.
Right.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
What's really crazy is if I was about 8th grade, 9th grade, right? When Tribe Called Quest hit. 46 now. And we talking about some of the hottest MCs in the game being fruit of this man's tree.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. But it speaks to the power and influence of Q-Tip musical expression, from style to MCing to production.
Yeah, that's true.
This is why he's a GOAT. He's
a GOAT. He's definitely a GOAT. It's funny because he doesn't get mentioned in those conversations with your Dr. Dre's and your Puffs.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. And okay, he don't get mentioned in the conversation with Dr. Dre's and your Puffs. He also doesn't get mentioned in the conversations with your Pete Rocks and your Premiers. He doesn't, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's like a man without...
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna mention a few more, but yeah.
Go ahead, but I mean, just the examples, like.
But yeah, I was just gonna say something like, or your Static Selector and Alchemist.
You see what I'm saying? And
like, how do we leave him out of all the categories?
All of them, but he damn near started them all.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He definitely don't get the credit that he's supposed to get. He get left out of all those conversations.
Yeah.
You know, when you talk about a versus against Q-Tip. That's a rough out.
It is. I
That's a
don't know how
rough
you
out.
do it.
That's a rough out. And it's rough because his songs mean more than most people's songs. You know what I mean? Like when you hit play on a Tribe Called Quest song, that shit mean more. Like the cultural currency of that song is worth more than almost everything else you gonna play. You like, you know what I mean? And you got to stand there and do it. It had to be somebody like Jay-Z. It got to be somebody like it's got to be a
right. And even when we say that, the average person, they don't understand why we saying that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, they don't get it.
They don't understand. Like,
but these songs mean something, dog.
Yeah.
Nigga, what you play when he play I Left My Ball in El Segundo?
I was about to say that.
That's the
Can
first
I
single.
kick it?
What do you play? If I don't care who you
Relaxation.
are, what do you play?
World tour.
I don't want to hear nothing after he played that. As a matter of fact,
bro, some of this stuff is not even fair.
He dirt napping niggas, yo.
Yeah.
He dirt napping niggas in the verses, bro. And you ain't heard his name. You done heard Tribe Called Quest versus Outkast. You heard that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you heard that. But somebody need to be saying Q-Tip name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when RZA and Premier went at it, somebody's supposed to be saying Q-Tip name.
Right.
You know? But, yeah, I'm glad we having this conversation, bro, because it makes me reflect of how great he is. And I felt like I knew. You know what I mean? But this conversation is making me understand. I think he's probably even greater than I understood.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
and he's greater than most understand.
He's definitely greater than most understand. He's definitely greater than most understand. So the style part of things, man. So he definitely allowed, if you're gonna be a hip hop artist that is gonna be comfortable in your own skin, you gotta point back to Q-Tip. I mean, of course you kind of point at the whole native tongue, but if you had to put a masthead on native tongue, who would it be?
Q-Tip.
Exactly. So that's why you know what I mean. So that style wise, I give it that, because Jungle Brothers had that eclectic thing. Of course, De La Soul had that thing.
Yeah.
And they were both before A Tribe Called Quest. You know, so.
Right.
But when them boys came through with that thing, buddy. I put it to you this way. I was on Facebook the other day. One of my best friends, Kelly, his mom posted a picture of, it was like a family picture when they was in I'm talking about this is back in the day, high school. He couldn't have been no more than 15 years old.
Yeah,
in the picture. And it's, a couple family members. But he had on a coat in that picture. I had the same exact coat. And they was Tribe coats. They were endorsed by Tribe. They didn't have Tribe written nowhere on them. But they were indicative of what Tribe would wear. You see what I'm saying? So it was literally a Tribe coat. You know what I mean? We had Tribe shirts. But the Tribe shirts actually the company was Home of the Brave, Land of the Brave, something like that was the name of the company. But they had all the nice designs on the rayon joints, just like the niggas was wearing in the videos. Wearing the braided belt with the joint hanging down. You know what I mean? Like all types of, nigga. Them niggas was cool, bruh.
Yeah.
Them niggas was cool, but comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, let me ask you something. Wow. Was Q-Tip the first Andre 3000? Was he the first one to start kirking?
Yeah, absolutely. That's not even a conversation either. He's the first one. He made it cool to be outside of the box, do some eccentric dressing stuff. Yeah. Even when he was even when he was on My Expert Opinion, you saw what he had on with the cowboy kind of hat and the shirt. You don't know you never know what you're gonna get.
Brother, like he was about to wade into the rice fields.
Yeah.
But nah, I mean, fire though.
Yeah,
Because
you know what I mean.
You got to be a certain type of nigga to pull that off. You know what I mean? Like to be first of all, you got your own sense of style. That's dope, right? In itself. But to
Yeah,
have your own sense of style and the confidence to put it on and rock it out the house like as if it's normal. It's your normal, which is dope, but it ain't normal.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you're gonna get the second looks, you're gonna get the glances, and then in the industry that we in, you know what I mean, niggas is trying to play with you, trying to play you. Cause you don't look like what they expect an MC to look like. You know? But he didn't care.
Not at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
And that's what I'm saying. He made it cool. He made the abnormal become normal or accepted.
And what's wild is it was him too, because he's standing beside Fife, and Fife wasn't that.
Nah, he's the typical.
He was a big boy.
Yeah, he's a big boy. That's what I was gonna say. Just like the Outkast thing.
Yep.
That's how you know it was authentic. He was being authentically him, or doing what he felt was style.
Yeah, it was super style. Yeah. I mean, yeah, son. I have Neo Soul and the Soul Quarians written down here.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I don't know. I don't know if Neo Soul isn't, you know what I mean, is a part of Q-Tip's. You know what I mean? But I do know the Soul Quarians, you know, with not Tribe Called Quest, but with the Roots and Erykah Badu, and all them. You know, I know that, but that heavily influenced the Neo Soul movement.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So I'm not gonna say, but I'm gonna say he played a part.
Yeah, he definitely played a part in it.
Yeah,
because you start getting, you get the rise out of the, man, I don't even know how to categorize it now, but I won't say the original Neo Soul, when it first started jumping off with you, from Angie Stone to India Ari to back then, that was heavily influenced by him.
It was their vibe. It was a tribe. It was a tribe vibe. It was, you see. I think that's what it boils down to. When Tribe Called Quest and Native Tongues, mass headed by Q-Tip, in my opinion, in our opinion, when they set the trend, when they set the tone, and they opened that door, it allowed a lot of artists of that ilk to come forward.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They might not have been responsible for it. But without something like Tribe Called Quest that gave us the bass lines and the grooves and the jazziness that we would accept. You know what I mean? I don't know that we would have outright accepted how jazzy and cool and eclectic they was trying to be. You see what I'm saying? It would have played, I ain't gonna front, some of that shit was just corny anyway, but it would have played as way more corny. You see what I'm saying? Like, it would have played as way more corny. There's a lot of things that we were able to experience, and we didn't just shun because he opened the door. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because he liked it. He shed a little light on it and allowed it to exist. And if it's cool enough for Tip, then I can't just be like it's lame.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, I think, and I'm not talking about me. I'm just talking about, I think, that's kind of how the game goes. I think the game treats Q-Tip a lot like they treated Jay-Z. It just wasn't as spoken.
Yeah. For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I think he held that weight, especially in the circles that he moved in. You know? J Electronica, I think, is another one that falls on this list of MCs that would be
And now watch this. He falls on that list for both cases, being influenced production wise and MC wise. And like production, the stuff he's done for himself when he's made the beats, you listen to it, it's like, man, that's some shit you think. It sounds like you made that with like thinking of how Q-Tip would do something.
Would do it, yeah.
Like the song that he just rapped over, Eternal Sunshine in the Spotless Mind. Right? that's some real eclectic Q-Tip shit. But the vibe, like it's a Q-Tip vibe. A lot of his stuff.
Yeah, for sure, man. You know what I would have? We talked about it on shows before, but A Tribe Called Cass.
The super group.
The super group. I just wanted to mention it. You know what I mean? Just cause. You know what I mean? We were giving this man his flowers. It's like
that would have been insane, and just to hear that would have been a blessing just to hear 3 Stacks rhyming over some crazy Q-Tip produced song.
Oh man.
See,
I had to allow myself to imagine it. I just
because people thought like on the leak joint of where 3 Stacks went crazy on the Donda song. Just imagine him on it.
Imagine it. Hey, what he on? We Got It From Here.
Yeah, they had him and Q-Tip go back and forth on the song called Kids.
Yep. Now imagine an album full of that. Yeah, I couldn't.
I loved it. They sound so good. Racquetball, the back and forth.
They did. I'm gonna listen to that before I lay down tonight. That's got to happen. Yeah. Man, good old Q-Tip.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that I didn't say specifically to him? I'm making sure I wrote down a few things. I'm just making sure everything that I wrote down I got off. But I think I got everything I wrote down off. Any wild cards on Q-Tip?
Nah, that Meg Thee Stallion was one of the only.
I would love to see how that would have turned out, bro.
Me too.
And I will
it's funny because I don't think she's ever mentioned him in no interviews. Not that I've seen.
Not that I've seen. But I wonder what she would sound like. You see what I'm saying? That's what I wonder most. Like what she would be if they had accepted. I could tell you, I can give you 3 guesses of what I think she might would have been if Q-Tip had got his way.
Okay. Do you think she'd have been a Lauryn Hill, who I think we should put on that list, actually?
Ah, nice. Okay, that's not who I was thinking, but I could get
that. Yeah.
But that makes sense. I was thinking Rhapsody.
Yeah, that's funny. I was gonna say Rhapsody too. I was actually Lauryn Hill, Rhapsody, and then as I'm saying this is coming to mind, I was gonna say Bahamadia, Lynn Q. Listen, you do know Bahamadia too. I'm throwing that's a Q-Tip influence stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Hey man, Common definitely deserved to be on this list. Remember the song? Yeah. You remember the song when he was doing the joint where he was standing outside and he was holding up the cards? It was the love song to the girl.
Pharrell produced that. Yeah,
that's a fucking Q-Tip song.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I knew it when I heard that.
That's a
when
Q-Tip
that came
song.
out. I'm like, that is a Q-Tip song.
Yeah, that's for real. It's actually Bonita Applebum.
Right. It is.
That's what it is. It's actually Bonita Applebum, bro. You know what I mean? So another one would have to be Lupe. Didn't Lupe say that he wasn't inspired by this guy?
That crazy stuff. I don't know why he said that.
So
he came under a lot of heat because he was saying like he wasn't really like acting like he wasn't really influenced or on their music like that. That was crazy to say that. But definitely when everybody knows and can see he was influenced.
Yeah, it's easy.
You are the Q-Tip of Chicago.
Hey, if you weren't influenced by it, it's because you didn't see it and you were influenced by somebody that was influenced by it.
Right. So either way, indirectly, he was influenced.
Yep, that's how that goes. It's shit. This motherfucker damn near influenced the whole game. Everybody after him. It's hard to think of somebody that came after Q-Tip that didn't get something from Q-Tip.
Yeah.
Or a Tribe Called Quest or Native Tongue or you know what I mean? Like Had to.
Yeah, he might be the most impactful producer ever. In terms of like I'm not saying the biggest, right?
Nah.
Pharrell's a big producer. Kanye, all we can name a bunch of big producers, new or old. That's
Yeah.
fine. I like or not so big producer. Like Alchemist, he's a big producer, but he's not big as a Kanye.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, but it ain't 1,000 of Alchemists running around. It ain't 1,000. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They ain't influenced whole multiple decades of people after them.
They didn't influence the greatest producers and artists of the next generation.
Right.
He did. You right. He might be the most impactful hip hop producer of all time. Not necessarily the greatest, but the most impactful.
Right. I think so.
MC producer, because we're not just gonna because.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, MC producer, because his I feel like he was as impactful as a producer because he had the benefit of rapping over his own beats for all those years. You see what I'm saying? Like, the song's gonna be perfect. I'm making perfect beats, and why wouldn't I write a perfect song?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I got this dude over here that's beside me that's nasty as hell, so everything I hand him, he gonna eat it up. And we got a badass DJ. You see what I'm saying? Like, we can't lose. You know, so it's like Kanye, he's got the benefit. It's gonna be hard to drop an album harder than Kanye if y'all working at the same time. Cause you got to go find hot beats. That nigga finna sit down and make hot beats.
yeah. Didn't rap to him.
And then rap to him. You know what I mean? It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard, bro, to contest something like that. So he might really. Wow. I did not know this conversation was going towards him being the most impactful hip hop artist of all time. Artist producer.
Yeah. Especially
artist producer. He is absolutely the most impactful artist producer.
Yeah.
Easy. I don't even know. I would like to see. Now that's something I'd like to know. Who else would be on that list? Like the top 10 most impactful artist producers in the game. Because after that after Q-Tip, you start naming people like Jermaine Dupri and Dr. Dre, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Puffy. You start getting into that realm, and ain't none of them niggas Q-Tip.
Right.
And the closest one, ironically, is Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he actually can make beats and write his own rhymes.
Right. That's true.
Puff can't do neither one.
Right.
And Drake can only do one.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, so Tip washing them niggas.
Oh yeah, easy.
You know what I mean? And on some real hip hop shit, not necessarily with record sales or no other, but some real hip hop shit. Tip washing them niggas, bro. Easy, like you said, like it ain't even close.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. A lot of stuff with Q-Tip, it's not close.
Once you really sit back and think about it and give it, you know what I mean? It's proper perspective. It don't really be close, bro.
At all.
Shit. This nigga need a cape.
I know.
Like a superhero. It's like, shit. Damn, I'm glad we had this conversation. Motherfuckers, hey, somebody could call it dick riding, but that ain't what this is. This is giving niggas their flowers. I ain't never met this man.
Right. And it's just the truth. It's just simply, you just look at it just objectively. Like, we can see the people that he influenced. We can see his influence of MCs, his influence of production, his influence even with style and people embracing and being themselves. Yeah. It's just so he just did so much, man. Yeah. He just birthed so much.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he did, bro. I mean, it's incredible, bro. He did it. He did it all. He did it all. When you that point that you made earlier when you was talking about him bringing the poetry to it, that kind of blew my mind because I never thought about it that way. But I can't think of who I would have called a poet before him. Not even KRS-One would have called a poet.
Nah.
I would have called him a teacher.
Right.
You know what I mean? But a poet, you know what I mean? Big Daddy Kane wasn't saying poems.
No.
He wasn't painting poetic pictures. He was saying ill rhymes.
Right. And the same with Rakim. He had some lines that were poetic, but I wouldn't have defined him. I wouldn't have
defined it as poetry.
Right.
Yeah. I can't think of anybody in that era that I would have considered poetry. The only thing that I could think of from that era that I could say, if I sat here and wrote it down and just read it, it would it's the message.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? But other than that, those songs don't play as poetry to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And to me, Q-Tip, he always, to me, his rhymes always did.
Yeah.
Even even on stuff like Drink Away the Pain, his verse, where he flips all the different clothing labels.
Yeah.
Like the way he just come across and paint pictures, and the way he just raps is just crazy poetic. Like one of the craziest lines I thought that was like some super, it was like a little morbid, but like poetic lines is like it was written used to be like to me the holy grail.
Okay.
Of rhyming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, how is this dude this good at putting words together? It's just crazy poetic imagery.
Yeah.
But like when Nas said, skies are misty, my life predicted by a gypsy, I one day walking the shots drunk off champagne from Sicily. I'm like, that is like that picture he just painted is poetic as fuck. And like, well, how did you choose those words?
Yeah.
Like, skies are misty, my life predicted by a gypsy, I one day walking the shots drunk off champagne from Sicily. But I noticed, like, I don't think I ever would have got that line from Nas without some of the lines, earlier lines that we got from the Q-Tip.
Yeah, I hear you.
On prior like Tribe albums.
Yeah, I could totally see that, man. Yeah, I could totally see it. And it's funny because this is one of those things like you and I as writers didn't get our poetry from Q-Tip.
Yeah.
We got our poetry from Nas.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolute fact. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I know for a fact I knew I could do it once I heard it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I knew I had poems inside me, but I had never thought to apply that to a rhyme until I heard that shit, and I was like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I agree. I think it came from somewhere. I think he got that inclination from somewhere, and I would easily trace it back to Q-Tip.
Yeah, and for Queens too. Like he know, and so they felt the impact and influence of Tribe and Q-Tip back then.
I bet you Nas don't even know where that shit came from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would love to you know what I mean, to ask him the question and see.
Because before you mention it right here, I mean, I knew it, but if somebody had asked me, when did my verses go from, like, what was the impetus for my verses going from fire verses to poetry? You know what I mean? What was that? I mean, with enough thought, I probably could have traced it back to Nas, because Nas changed everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? So at a point, I probably would have, but I had never considered it that way.
Yeah.
You know, and I definitely hadn't considered that Nas had got the poetry from Abstract the Poetic down the street in Queens.
I absolutely hadn't really considered that until, like, you know what I mean? That's relatively new thinking in recent years. You know what I mean? But for far as me getting my poetry from Nas,
oh, ain't no question.
Ain't no question.
Ain't no question. I got my poetry from Nas.
This is how it has to be done.
From here on out.
Yeah.
I don't care what flow I don't care what the flow is, but from here on out, it's got to have this level of it's got to have It's got to be poetry. If it ain't poetry, I'm not fitting to say it.
Yeah.
If it's not beautiful, I'm not saying it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's got to be beautiful, and that's what we so far from that. We so far from that, bro. We have fallen so far from that. It's about 8 people in the game that give a damn about that shit being beautiful.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when it is, goodness gracious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I was side note. I asked you for it the other week. I don't know how it came up, but the When the Clouds Ain't Gray hook came up from somewhere. And I wrote it out. But I remember I hit you and asked you for the song.
Yeah, I remember.
But I couldn't find it. But I wrote it out. I wrote out the hook and let my girl read it. And she was like, "Well, that's poetry." I was like, "Well, yeah." You know what I mean? Like, well, yeah, that's exactly what it is. You know what I mean? It's just, but it's a verse. Well, actually, it's a hook, but you know what I mean? A little poetic verse, and that's all. I just can't imagine not have gotten that. There's a few things I couldn't imagine, like if we had never got it in hip hop, if we'd never got the poetry, if we'd never got the jazz, if we'd never got the, you know what I mean? Like, God, shit, two of the things I named we got because of Q-Tip.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The jazz and the poetry.
The jazz and the poetry, absolutely.
Man, I don't know, man. You think we did enough, bro?
Yeah, like you said, we could talk for hours about multiple offspring from his offspring.
Right.
But yeah, I think we covered most of it, at least to make a good case for him.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like if he heard it, he'd be like, okay, I can appreciate that. And I know we left some things out, so he would be like, well, they forgot about this, they forgot about that. So if you do happen to stumble across this tip, Kamal, whichever one you let it be called, you know what I'm saying? Bruh, please hit your boys up. You know what I'm saying? We love to talk to you. You know what I mean? Get your flowers in person, or at least cross Zoom.
Right.
Yeah, but definitely a legend in our hearts and mind and our eyes, bro. I couldn't imagine the world of hip hop without Tribe and without Q-Tip. Especially after this conversation, I couldn't imagine what hip hop would look like if Tribe and Q-Tip had never come around.
I know.
No Pharrell, no Kanye,
no Infamous album.
No shit.
No One Love.
You can
like
stop
just
right
with
there.
the change of that, it changed the whole Illmatic.
You can stop
like when
right
you
there.
move Q-Tip out, it's just going to change. We might end up skipping a whole era of music, not getting some of that at all.
Yeah, we wouldn't have got.
Because we're going to lose artists and producers.
That's right.
And albums.
That's right. There's a couple of people we just don't get.
Yo, that's what it is. This is what I'm saying about your favorite rapper. Everybody know they influence, right?
Yeah.
Everyone knows how influential. Like I'm talking about, like the major heavy hitters in hip hop. Because on Jay-Z album, 22 Twos, right?
Yeah.
Maria from Mad Wednesdays asked Jay-Z, I heard your album is fat. Come up here, kick a freestyle. Jay-Z was like, can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. He said, y'all motherfuckers must ain't heard Try Call Question. Yo, people don't even understand. Like, yo,
that's crazy. So true. That's so true.
So it influenced him to the way he controlling the crowd.
Wow.
And the crowd interaction.
Wow, bro. Yo, that's dope. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's it. And the crazy thing is it just hit me. You seen the cover art for our last episode, right?
Yeah.
So this episode happened to be the Lineage of Q-Tip. The cover art for the last episode on YouTube says music industry rule number 4080.
Yeah, which is
a Q-Tip quote.
Q-Tip, yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is 2 weeks in a row. The shows directly relate to the Abstract Poetic.
Yeah.
It's a great man, yo.
Yeah.
I'm happy to have been alive in the era that Q-Tip made music.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Real talk.
Yeah.
We wasn't like Marvin Gaye wasn't our heyday. You know what I mean? Stevie Wonder wasn't our heyday, but damn if we didn't get, we got Q-Tip though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's just as important.
Just as important, bro. Yeah, we definitely got Q-Tip. But I mean, I don't know though. You think we gave him enough flowers?
Yeah, for sure. I think he'd be happy with this.
I hope he gonna. Well, I tagged him in everything on Instagram, so we gonna hopefully we get to find out. If he ain't happy, he
that would be dope.
It wouldn't it? That would make my fucking year, yo. I tell you what, I guarantee I would never stop podcasting.
Never.
Because I know what the result could be. Now you done fucked up. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, yeah. So if any of these niggas that's on that piece on that thing that I sent you, whether it be Pharrell, Kendrick, Cole, John Billion, Kanye, Earl, anybody from Hieroglyphics, I don't care who it is. You see what I'm saying? Holla at us. We love to hear from you. I want to give a shout out to One of One Boutique. And I also want to give a shout out to Black Friday Market. One of One Boutique is downtown Raleigh. It's East Cabarrus, right?
East Cabarrus.
Yeah, 201 East Cabarrus Street. Yeah, it's definitely East Cabarrus. Fly gear, you know what I mean? Fly sneakers, everything you need. And you know what I mean? Everything you need, what the young ones call it, drip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything you need to get your drip established. Establish your drip at 101. But stay tuned for the limited edition Tang Clan merch. Follow us on all social media platforms. I don't care if it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification bell. We drop every Friday now. We're gonna be doing Fridays, I suppose. Every Friday. Binge all the episodes that we had up there before. I mean, we got plenty to binge. We got plenty for you to choose from. With that being said, I'm Jonna.
I'm Alan. This was not a podcast about classical music.
Absolutely was not. This is a podcast about hip hop. Make room for the tag.
Conversate for a few.
Hustle, welcome. Man, they had to send me. Hustle from Raleigh, live from NC with your hosts, John and Alan. Relate to the two. You are now listening to Conversate for a Few. Check it on SoundCloud, debate with your crew. They talking hip hop from the late to the new. From July till June end. No Fridays for me. Tune in. Please listen to this podcast. 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 Please listen to this podcast.